Welcome to The Route to Revenue, two entrepreneurs sharing the path to curbside cash flow. I'm Ben.
And I'm Mike. We're both founders of two successful recurring revenue businesses in the home services industry, and we've built our companies from startup to profitable and scalable operations.
This is the show for entrepreneurs serious about building sustainable home service businesses. Whether you're starting out, scaling up, or ready to move beyond trading time for money, we share proven strategies for creating predictable monthly revenue streams.
And while our expertise comes from the bin cleaning industry, the systems and principles we discuss work for any recurring revenue home service. Think lawn care, pest control, pool maintenance, and beyond.
Each episode, we break down real-world strategies for customer acquisition, retention, operational efficiency, and building systems that generate consistent income while you step back from daily operations.
Are you ready to transform your home service businesses from a demanding job into a profitable asset? This is The Route to Revenue.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to The Route to Revenue. I'm Ben Magee with Green Can Cleaner, and I've got Mike Walker with Spiffybin with me. How you doing, Mike?
Hey, Ben, I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing well.
Awesome. Well, I'm happy to introduce this gentleman to our podcast. He's one of the young bucks in the industry. He's probably could be either of our kids, Ben. He's on the younger side.
Don't make me feel old, Mike.
Yeah, he just got married not too long ago. He's got a dog. He's got a shop that I got to tell. I hope we're talking about that later on. I am envious of his shop. And he has quickly grown from one trailer and a beautifully wrapped pickup truck to now he's got that same trailer pickup truck and he's added an PTO 4 out of sparkling bins. And that person is Tyler LeBlanc out of Delaware Trash Can Cleaning LLC out of Delaware. And I emphasize the can because he and I always pick on each other for can versus Spiffybin. So
yeah, I was just gonna say, Tyler, congratulations on getting that part right. We're still working on Mike.
I see that up in the corner there, can cleaner.
Yeah,
it's always can. But thanks for the intro, Mike. I appreciate it. It's been an interesting journey to say the least. I never thought I'd be cleaning trash cans, but here we all are.
Awesome.
On a podcast for cans. Cleaning trash.
There you go.
That's it.
Well, can you give us a little bit about your background, how you started, maybe what you did, and I know you're a hockey player, or at least your brother is. I know that much. You know,
was pretty washed up now, but it just started by a YouTube video in like 2018. I saw a guy cleaning a trash can with like palm trees in the background, and at the time I had no idea. Like, I knew that I wanted to do something for myself. I just didn't know what that was exactly. I mean, I had a job when I was 15, and I realized like really quickly, like getting pay raises and, that just wasn't like my cup of tea. So I just always searching around. I was painting cars before I was even cleaning cans. So that was like a small business / hobby I had. But after that YouTube video, it was kind of like tucked in the back of my mind for like 2 years. So I just saved up some money, got rid of some debt, and then purchased the trailer, and that was the start of, what I have now. So started at zero, and now I think recurring wise, anywhere between like 1,700 people.
Perfect.
With the truck and the PTO.
That's fantastic. So, what year did you start again?
It was 2020, early 2020.
Oh, great time to start too. Right when they were shutting everything down.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, great timing for me. It was a good year for me. I know maybe not a good year for others, but that was the time that I got furloughed from my day job, and they would still pay us to stay home. So it was like getting paid, and then I had all the time in the world to focus on this.
Good for you.
Awesome. And then when we went back to work, I think I did it for 8 weeks, where it was cleaning cans in the morning, working from 3 to 12 at night. And I did that for 8 weeks, and then that was like enough to get me to like the break-even point.
Mm-hmm.
And I could quit my job. So obviously everybody's situation is, different. I had the opportunity to move back to my parents for at least a couple of years, just so I could take the money that I made from the business and just keep reinvesting it in until it got to the point where I had enough to move out and grow. And that's kind of how it all started and how it came to be. So
well, that's fantastic.
That's awesome. Tyler, I've recently moved back in with my mom, so
Hey, No judgment here, man. If you can live rent free or mortgage free, by all means, do it.
I tell everybody I'm a real success. I clean trash cans and live with my mom. So
Well, to be fair,
recently,
she moved in with you, but
well, same
Yeah,
thing.
but
the-
now you're
Yeah.
taking care of her.
Yeah. So, one of the things, and just so that everybody knows, I mean, Tyler and I have never actually met. I mean, this is our first time actually interacting other than on Facebook.
Yep.
And one of the things that I've been really impressed with, and I was like, Mike, we got to get this guy on. You know, you're constantly like doing upgrades to the equipment and tinkering with it. And when did you realize that maybe the stock setup wasn't exactly how you wanted to roll?
Um, in the beginning, when I first got the trailer, I didn't know anything about it, just like the rest of us. You know, it was a
Right.
completely new road to go down. I tinker with cars since I was probably like 14, 15. And that has helped me kind of have a good understanding of like mechanic. I mean, even since I was a kid playing with Legos, like just like playing with my hands, making things work, taking things apart. When I got the trailer, I didn't know anything about it, but as I learned how I wanted to clean cans, what worked better, it's just like I'm always looking for the next best efficient thing to like make me work faster because time is money. So if you're spending 10 minutes on a monthly stop, there's probably an issue. You should be moving quickly, but also maintaining good quality and making sure that the can is clean for the customer. So
100%.
just as I was doing the work myself, you know, I realized there were some things that we could change, things that we could upgrade. Um, I'd say the biggest upgrade was the wastewater tank in my truck. And that was around like 600, 700 customers where it got to the point where I couldn't really swing a new truck yet, but I was still growing. So like I still had to figure out how to get these customers cleaned with the capacity limitations.
And not have to run back every time to refill and empty and all that.
Exactly. So the dumping situation was kind of tight when I first started too. A lot of dump stations were getting eliminated, Cabela's being one of them.
Right.
Used to be able to pay $5 and dump sewage, but now I guess people were abusing it or whatever the case was, so they got rid of them.
I heard it was because trash can
We only have
cleaners were going there all the time. That's what I heard, but I'm not sure.
No, I don't think that was it.
Sure?
I mean,
All right.
you know, I don't know, but that was one of the reasons why, you know, I made that modification. But yeah, it's always fun to tinker with stuff and try and make it better and solve the problem at hand, even when things break. I know we all have that,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
feeling in our chest when something breaks, but once you find the solution, you feel a lot better and maybe it's a better solution.
Yeah. Well, Tyler and I met, I want to say, was it in 21 when we went out to Vegas? Obviously, we didn't know each other before. Well, not obviously, but we didn't know each other beforehand. And one of the local, or not one of the locals, one of the nationwide manufacturers of the equipment was having a convention out in Vegas. And I met Tyler at one of the meet and greets. We had to social distance, which was interesting. So we were set at different tables, is the way they were doing. And I happened to luck into being at the table with Tyler, and I think your bride Sarah was there at the time as well, or maybe we just met her at later on. But you know, it was really interesting to talk to him because he was really innovative, like Ben touched on, but also he was willing to help as well. And I see that a lot on your posts where there'll be pictures of you and like two or three other not manufacturers, two or three other operators kind of in and around Delaware. And they'll be at your shop and you guys will either be working on your truck or you'll be working on their truck or vice versa. How has that partnership helped your business or helped you run this business? Or do you use it as a means to kind of bounce ideas off each other? How has that been helpful?
Pretty much I use it as a means to meet new people, but also support those that are around me. I mean, obviously I'm not going to help somebody directly in my backyard,
Sure.
but I'm lucky enough to where all the owners that I'm friends with, we all have our separate zones in like the tri-state area. So like MD Clean, Josh Levy was here this past weekend. He's from DC, so he drove an hour and I think 30 minutes to come here.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron from Buffalo Bin Wash, he drove 6 hours to come down.
From where?
His trailer. Buffalo, New York.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He stayed here for I think 2 to 3 days, and we did a whole bunch of modifications to his trailer. So mainly I just do it to help people, whether they want to be more efficient or they have continuous problems if they're close by. But also just to meet people and just,
Talk shop.
hang out, shoot ideas off each other, talk shop.
Yeah. That's awesome.
But yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'd noticed that as well, that you have guys over there and working on stuff. It's pretty cool to see. So one of the things that Mike was excited about when we were talking about who we were going to have on, and he was like, "Oh yeah, Tyler," and we talked about it, and one of the things that he was really excited about was your drift cars. So tell us a little bit about that.
I mean, they're nothing special. They're slapped together, if you want to say that, But they're just old. I have one specifically. It's a '99 BMW, so it's just an inline six car. And I actually got that for like $1,000 at my old job. So we had access to like wholesale cars that came in. So if somebody wanted to trade in their old beater car, obviously they wouldn't want to refurbish that and finance and sell it to somebody, so they would put it in the wholesale lot, and we got dibs for any of the cars that came through. So me being a car guy already, any car that came through, I was checking it out. And that one just happened to roll in, and they misdiagnosed it. They said the transmission was bad, whatever. It was just a bushing that needed to be replaced. So I bought it for $1,000, and I drove that thing for probably 3 years, maintaining it, just like upgrading small things that I knew were going to break. And then once I got another car after that, that kind of became my drift car. So I just did a bunch of modifications to it, suspension, steering, welded the differential, got a tune for it and some exhaust, and it rips. It's a fun car. I gutted the whole thing, put a couple bucket seats in. It still has air conditioning, still has music in there. And yeah, it's fun. I could just go out there. It's a cheap car that you can do hot laps. You can keep going, and not worry about spending $2,000 on tires because it's a smaller car, it's slower, but it's a fun seat car. So it's fun. I've always liked driving, and once I figured out I could go to the track and actually not get pulled over for doing something, you can actually legally rip on your car. It was fun. It was just expensive.
That's awesome. Well, I'd like to talk a little bit about the equipment and the kind of a maintenance deep dive type of deal. I know you mentioned the pickup truck where you put the extra tank in there for water and whatnot. How about on the PTO truck? What have you done a lot of modifications to that? One in particular that I know you have done it on the trailer with those lights, the nighttime lights, to create it into a mobile billboard in the evening time. That was a pretty cool innovation that I keep swearing I'm going to do, and I just haven't done it yet. But
yeah, me too.
And for those that are listening, can you give us a quick description of those lights, and then maybe onto one piece that you thought was better?
So the lights, obviously everybody's seen on Facebook, whether it's the business page or me posting in the groups, but it's like an aluminum strip. It's like, I think it's 1.5 inches wide, maybe 2 inches, and it runs down the entire top part of like the aluminum siding. And it hangs over about 1 inch. So there's just truck bed lighting underneath. So on the trailer, it's a little different than the PTO. The PTO, I recently just finished all the lighting. But on the trailer, it's just one strip, and it's low enough to the ground that it floods off the ground. And then we have one strip under the handles where you work, and then another strip on the other side under the hopper. So it's all even, but definitely grabs attention, and it's not bright, so you can drive down the road and not blind drivers next to you. On the PTO, I did the same thing. It's just the PTO sits way higher, so you need more light. The one single strip wasn't enough to like make it look as good as the trailer, so I basically did like a two strips of LEDs, same concept. It's overhanging off the side. And then there's another like L bracket lip to make sure that the lights are aiming down, because since it's so much higher, people sitting next to you in traffic, they'd be blinded by the LED. Oh. So I put a lip underneath so it shoots straight down.
Okay.
Interesting. I put puddle lights underneath, so they're just those LED pods that you see on the hopper. There's actually 4 of them underneath the frame of the body on the truck. And then there's 2 that are shooting out the back, and then there's 4 on the hopper. So,
damn.
What is that?
That's a lot.
There's a lot of pod lights on there, but all of them can be controlled from inside the cab. So I ran all the wires into the dashboard, and then removed all of those, like, I'm sure on your PTO, Mike, you can see, or on your Isuzus, there's like the little blank spots for extra switches.
Sure.
I popped all the switches out and then replaced them with rockers. So in the truck, some of the driveways that we do are at night, and it's kind of sketchy. So when you have to back in, you want to see everything. So he has the, ability to turn on like reverse pod lights, shine down from the side. He can see everything when he's backing up.
Wow, that's awesome.
And obviously, it's for safety and obviously the rolling billboard side of it.
Yeah.
But it's all conveniently wired in the PTO. On the trailer, it's all in the box. So if I want to shut the lights off, I have to get out and like open the box up and then hit the switcher. But the PTO is nice because it's all on the dashboard and you can do everything from in the cab.
Now that was one of my favorite upgrades. How about did you have a particular favorite upgrade you've done? Maybe that was different than that, or
the one that made the most sense and that was the best one I've done is that wastewater tank in the pickup. So there's a lot of guys out there starting out with a trailer. And the trailer is like a whole different animal compared to the Isuzu trucks. You just hop in the Isuzu and drive. The trailer, you have to be careful of your turns. You have to be cautious of where you pull up. It's way longer than an Isuzu. It's like 43 feet or something.
right?
And also your towing, you have to be aware of your tongue weight and how the balance of water weight is affecting the drivability of your truck. So on all the SV2s, all the trailers that you see, that wastewater tank is on the tail of the trailer. So it's on the tail end. That changes your tongue weight as the clean water depletes and your wastewater rises. Now you're picking up on the hitch of your truck. So if you're trying to pull out into traffic safely and you got to floor it, you're going to be spinning your inside wheel and you're not going to get grip, especially if it's raining. And on top of that, your capacity is limited. You only have 250 gallons of wastewater on these trailers, but you have 525 gallons of clean. So by the time I get down to halfway on the clean tank, wastewater tank's pretty much full. And then you either have to go dump again. I mean, that's actually the only answer. You got to go.
Or it'll splash all over, right? I mean, that's not a good option.
Exactly. It'll be splashing out on the road. So I had to think of a way without buying a new truck. How do I fix this without dumping? So I was like, okay, if I put an extra, low pro tank in my truck bed, not only am I adding capacity, but I'm also increasing my safety because now the weight is going from the tail of the trailer to the truck bed to put up over my rear wheels, which is the drive wheels. So it's just a sewage pump that runs off 12 volts. And I drilled into the wastewater tank, maybe like 2 inches above it, a 2-inch hole, put a bulkhead on there, 90-degree fitting, and then the green hose that you see on your Isuzus that transfer the water between the two tanks. I use that from the wastewater tank to the sewage pump, and then it's sub pump hose like at your house that runs underneath my trailer up through my truck, drill the hole in the truck bed, and then up into the tank.
Wow!
So it's all connected at my hitch, and I can turn completely 90 degrees both way. The hose is flexible, so it moves. And flip a switch, the pump turns on. And then you drain the 250, put it in your truck, and now you've just opened up more capacity and you're a lot safer. So even when your clean tank is completely empty and you've got some in the waste tank and that 200 gallons in the truck bed, it's still safe to pull out. Tested it. And that's
many days.
Upgrade that I think.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of testing. But it worked.
That would be nice. I started with an SB2 and I'll tell you, once that weight transfer happens, I mean, if I was at the north end of my service area and had to get back to the shop, which was on the south end, being on the freeway, I mean, it's just squirrely.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And it was dangerous, So yeah, that's a great modification. Yeah, that's awesome. So
and the air hitch, of course. I'm not sure if you've seen that before. It's the shocker air hitch.
Yeah.
So it just absorbs all of the trailer bouncing. And then it also lets you adjust how high the trailer's pitched up. So when at the beginning of the day, your tongue weight's the heaviest because your clean water tank's full.
Right.
I inflate that thing to I think it's 45 PSI and it's perfect. And then as the day goes on, it wants to pick up more because it's losing weight. The tongue weight's getting lighter. So I let air out of the hitch and it'll bring it back down to level as the day goes on, and it's still absorbing everything. So it makes for a really smooth ride, and I won't tow without that hitch, whether it's my cars or tractor, whatever I'm towing. The hitch is on.
And in your business right now, you've got a driver, right? So does the driver drive the PTO? Do you let him drive the pickup truck? What's the thought process on that?
He's in the PTO, so the thought process is get him 40 hours a week. So he's in the PTO. I give him 45 to 50 stops a day. And that keeps him busy throughout the whole day. And then I can either pick up the rest of the cleanings or the house washes, whatever I have on the schedule. I'll go out and do with the trailer. It's just easier to have him in the truck. He doesn't have to worry about a trailer backing up.
They're adjusting.
I had to back down quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little, you got to be way more aware with the trailer.
For sure.
As compared to the PTO. Yeah. So
that's for sure. I'll tell you that when my first driver that I hired was actually an off-duty police officer and a good friend of mine, and he would come and drive, and I mean, I was scared to death every time he left that shop with the truck and trailer. And even though I knew that he was a great driver, I mean, he's a cop, he'd been through driving school, he'd been through, and it still was just, and so that's actually why I did away with the trailers, because I was like, you know what, if we're gonna do this, we need trucks so that I can put people in and I'm not sitting on pins and needles wondering when I'm going to get the call, hey, I turned too sharp and took out a stop sign or a tree, or I mean,
person.
So yeah. I just love where we're headed with this. So the next thing, what's the most common equipment failure that you see that could be prevented with just a little bit of preventative maintenance?
The lifter arm pins.
Yeah.
I see that failure a lot, and it happens more with the Isuzu trucks than it does the trailers, just from my experience. And my thought process is the arms are way longer on the
Exactly.
The drive arms for the trailer, are like this. The Isuzu is like this. So just think of holding a weight out further away from your chest, trying to pick it up rather than closer. The arms like to wear out the pins and bushings pretty quickly. And I've tried different pins and bushings before. I don't think there's a difference. I don't think it matters. I think it's just the thing's going up and down 100 times a day. Just lubricate it every week. Whether you're spraying them down with WD-40 or you're pumping grease through those Zerk fittings, just lubricate them and it'll prevent early wear and tear. And when you do have to replace them, since you've been greasing them up so much, they shouldn't be stuck. The pins that I just did for Josh, those things weren't greased for a couple years, and they were extremely difficult to remove and replace and fix. But
just asking for a friend,
that's one of the main.
Asking for a friend, how would you remove something maybe that hasn't been greased in several years if they need to be replaced? And maybe they lived in Atlanta or something and couldn't bring their truck to your shop.
I'll tell you what, you need heat, a sledgehammer, and more heat.
Okay.
That's pretty much what happens. So the worst ones are the pins that are in between that spacer at the bottom. There's 6 pins total, 3 on each side. The top 2 are usually the easiest. It's the ones that you can't swing a hammer behind and get to. So you kind of have to drill a hole through the center of the pin and then almost use like a gear puller to like suck it out instead of hammering it in or hammering it out. So it's just, you got to have some tricks up your sleeves to get them out, but
interesting.
There hasn't been one I haven't gotten out.
He's kind of like a young Jason Proctor.
He is.
I'm impressed with Jason, and the more I talk to Tyler, I know I give Tyler calls because you were one of the first to go to the Predator engine, the Harbor Freight knockoff, I guess, if that's the right word.
Well, it's a huge difference in price, as you know, compared to a GX 690. And I was just kind of in a pinch. Like, I didn't really have a choice. I didn't want to spend the money.
You only had the one truck. You only had the trailer, right? You didn't have the truck at the time.
No, I did. I had the PTO at the time. Okay. So I did. I think it was November of 2023 is when that happened.
Wow, you've had that truck. I'm sorry, you've had that truck for 3 years or 2 years now? Dang.
Yeah, 3 It was May of 23.
Wow. Good for you. So what was that? 3 years in, you grabbed a second vehicle.
3 years left.
Nice.
Yeah.
Not that you're counting down the days or anything.
I am. I am counting down. Those loans are over.
Yeah.
But the third truck I think will be next year. Will be probably early spring if I can swing it. I think we just want to build our own. I'm not sure 100% yet, but I definitely don't want to buy something new.
Mhm.
As you guys both know, it's not cheap.
No.
So the third vehicle, I think we want to do like 2 Predator motors and 2 pumps.
Okay. Nice.
So we can run in the winter too, because the winter's challenging. Like right now, it's 19 degrees out, and can't clean in the winter with the PTO because you can't run the pumps while you're driving. So I think the next one will be the Predator motors. But I love the Predator motor. It bolted right in. Just needed a different hub on the back for the pulleys.
Right.
But other than that, everything lined up and still going strong. No idea on the hours on it. I just change the oil every 2 to 3 months.
Well, you can.
Save spark plugs every year.
Not that I want to tell you all my tricks, but you can actually get on Amazon for $14. You can get something that you wrap around 5 times around the spark plug, and it'll give you the hour. It'll give you the RPMs and the hour meter on that. So, if you did want to add that,
I've heard of it. I think it might be too late to throw the hour meter on there.
well, the hour meter, yeah, it wouldn't be, but I mean, it might be helpful, so when you hit 100 hours to change the oil or what have you. So, hey, if for somebody just starting out, maybe looking to get into the business, what type of equipment investments are actually worth it, maybe versus what's nice to have. After doing what you did, you started with the trailer, went to the PTO. Do you feel like that was the right path? Do you feel like you maybe would have done something different, knowing something different?
I think it was the right path for me, just financially.
Mhm.
I was able to. The first truck that I bought wasn't the Duramax diesel. It was a 2500 gas truck that I also got at my old job in wholesale because somebody got
Nice.
It was like $1,000 and it was a 2500. So I was like, well, that should pull it no problem. And it did for a while until it overheated. And the heat going up hills, it just did not like pulling that thing. But the SB2 was just affordable.
Okay.
For the payment every single month. I was just starting out. It wasn't the cheapest option, but it wasn't the most expensive because obviously I looked at the trucks, but they're 100 plus.
Sure.
So I was trying to keep my expenses as low as I could, but still have a good quality piece of equipment that I could grow in a little bit and also, get started. So I think that was the perfect piece of equipment. And I think it's a necessity. I see a lot of other smaller companies making cheaper equipment, but you're going to grow to a point where you're going to be limited too quickly. Like the SV2 allowed me to get to 600-700 customers, with no issues. Mechanical lifter, the proper heads on there, the Belandi heads. So, and 8 gallons a minute. I think it was a good choice, was going with a decent piece of equipment that I knew I could grow a little in. And
I would agree. That was when I was in a similar situation when I started, and I knew that I needed something that I could scale enough to get to a truck or another trailer, depending on how things went. And I look at some of these guys, and I totally agree with you. I think some of the equipment that I see being sold out there, there's no way you're going to be able to scale and put anyone in that, and you're not going to be able. You're always going to have a job, which is kind of one of the things that I like to preach is, you started a business, now make it a business. Don't continue to have a job.
It's a hard leap to make.
It is. Yeah.
That's my next goal, is to get myself off of the truck for cans specifically. Like I'll go do soft washing and pressure washing
100%.
any day of the week. Just can related. If I can get that, third truck and put somebody in it, I shouldn't have to clean cans anymore. Each truck can do 50 stops, 100 stops,
My mantra always from day one was 3 years, 3 trucks, me not driving any of them. That would be on like the crappiest of crappy days. That's what I would say to myself. And it took me 5 years, but I was close. Close enough. But that was the keys. Getting that, for me at least, the third truck made the big difference. But if you can supplement it with more pressure washing and different things like that, that'll obviously be helpful as well.
Well, here's the other thing that I'll say is, both Mike and I, and we talk about this a lot. I mean, there's times where I'll call Mike and I'll be like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm cleaning cans." And, same thing. He'll call me and he'll say, "What are you doing?" And I'll be like, "Well, I ended up on a route today."
Yeah.
So I think, there is a little bit of a fallacy in when you're bootstrapping and you're scaling, and there are going to be times when you end up back in a truck occasionally. It's just part of the deal. And honestly, I had a run for, man, it was quite some time. I mean, it was close to a year that I didn't have to be in a truck ever. And we've made some adjustments recently that's put me back in a truck a little more often. But during that time, I found myself actually, I would show up at the shop and be like, I'm going to take that truck today and go clean some cans, because I wanted to know if the maintenance was up on the truck and everything was working. And I wanted to know, what was going on in the business. And so I think that it's actually important to keep that in mind, that, you know, you constantly hear, "Oh, you need to be off the truck. You got to be off the truck." Well, once you get off the truck, you're going to miss being on the truck.
100%. I definitely, I don't want to be going out there to do 65 plus stops, but I don't mind being on the route for a few cleanings just to stay fresh on the standards and make sure, like you said, things are working, and because anybody knows the truck well enough, it's going to be us.
Yeah.
So we know what sounds are, when the heater's turning off correctly, just making sure the heads are spinning, making sure everything's running. I totally agree. It's sometimes good to be on.
As weird as it sounds, I can have the guys test everything right in front of me at the shop, and everything works perfectly. As soon as you get on a route, it changes.
You get a phone call, you're like, "I have no pressure." And you're like, "You were just here. It worked."
Hey, I want to circle back real quick. You had mentioned that your goal is to give your driver 40 hours. Take us back to that first day in May of 23 or whatever, whenever you hired that maybe the first driver, whatever, and payroll came around. What type of pucker factor was that to you? And maybe even still to this day, right? I mean, because at the end of the day, whoever's going to go without a paycheck is probably going to be yourself versus you got to pay the driver, or else you're going to have the state coming after you. What was that like? 'Cause you're fairly young, I mean, I'm impressed with your trajectory, but I'm curious always to see what that's like for the person.
It was interesting to say the least. I wasn't too worried about making payroll. It was, somebody's out in your truck driving this thing around on the road working. That would make me a little nervous in the beginning, just letting loose, kind of letting go of the reins, because it started to get to the point where there were some days I didn't have to go out. So I was just at home doing desk work, and I can't stand it. I hate doing admin stuff. I'd rather be in my shop or out cleaning. But just, it's just a level of trust between the driver and yourself. And he did a really good job. He was very dependable, reliable. He worked hard. I'd watched him clean before, so I was confident the quality was good. But I was just nervous about things breaking. I mean, the first day he went out, the clean water tank shifted about a foot, snapped off the dump, and then dumped all his water out onto the road. So not, an hour into him going out by himself for his first day, I get that phone
call. You're like, crap, what did I do?
And then he drove all the way home, panicked, We found a plug for the tank. My father actually ran to the store before he got there, grabbed a bunch of random pipe assortments I told him to grab, went back to the house, patched it together, because he had 45 stops. I also had about 40.
Wow, yeah.
So I was doing my own thing.
Sure.
Calling my father, who owns a slice of the business. I was like, "Hey, I need you for a minute. I need you to run to, Granger and pick up some parts for me."
Yeah.
So that, I think just that happening right out of the gate was the worst thing that could happen, but also after that, it was pretty much smooth sailing. So it made me feel a little better. Every day he was coming back, all the stops were done. He put notes in there. you know.
Good for you.
I pay them every week, so I pay them by the hour, and I think that's better just because you don't want somebody rushing through stops just to get dollar per stop. So
Yeah.
by the time he gets to the shop, it's about an hour of him prepping, getting towels ready, loading everything up. I don't care about small stuff like that.
Yep.
He probably spends 5 hours a day cleaning, 3 hours driving, doing maintenance stuff, filling the truck up,
Yep.
cleaning it. So
Awesome.
40 hours a week. The problem is the Fridays for us have gotten weaker, just solely because there's trash companies that are dropping off, and they're all switching to the main company. So it's like Monday through Thursday, 4 weeks a month are packed. Like we could almost work 4 10s if we really wanted to. But Friday is just how the schedule works here and what companies pick up where. All the bad companies that are picking up on Fridays have disappeared. And I think Friday's the worst day for a trash pickup day, to be honest, because if the trash company screws up and they close at 5, you got a bunch of annoyed customers that are calling, including myself, asking, where's the trash company at 6 o'clock on a Friday?
Well, it's also nice on the holiday weeks because you can push, they probably push a day into Friday and you're not working Saturday or Sunday or whatnot. So
yeah, sometimes that does help too with the Friday being off because, like you said, the holiday weeks, there's one company here that won't change their schedule unless it's Thanksgiving or Christmas, which is nice because they're a majority of our cleaning. So we just shift all the ones forward that have to, but the routes kind of are still the same. The holiday weeks are kind of better because it'll allow us to work 5 to 6 days a week.
Awesome.
That makes sense. Well, Tyler, we're going to do our kind of wrap up thing that we do, which is just kind of going to be 3 just kind of rapid fire short response questions. And so the first one, if you could only give one piece of advice to a new operator, what would it be?
Just keep cleaning.
There you go. I like it.
No matter what is going to happen, whether you have breakdowns, whether you have a driver that you have to fire, the weather, I mean, you just got to keep cleaning because that's the only way you're going to make money. So just keep putting people on the schedule, keep going, keep pushing through because there's definitely plenty of ups and downs, like a roller coaster for you. Everybody goes through it.
Awesome. My question would be, what's next for you? You've got obviously cans, you've got 2 vehicles, you're looking to add another vehicle, you do soft washing. Do you have anything else, any other irons in the fire that you're looking to do to spread out this business or diversify the business? Or are you just planning on making your millions through trash can cleaning and whatnot?
It'll just be keep growing the foundation of the business, which is started with trash cans. So that's how everything came to be. I didn't start pressure washing and soft washing till maybe 22. The first 2 years was just solely focused on getting the recurring revenue, making sure the base is there. And then as time went on, I kind of learned how to do pressure washing and then blasted all of those clients that I had in the database saying, hey, I also offer this. And that's how that kind of grew on the side. So next project would, other than just growing the business consistently for this year, is building that other truck for the next vehicle. So I have a pretty good understanding of how they all work. It's just piecing everything together. The biggest thing would be the chassis, honestly, is getting an Isuzu.
I guess a quick follow-up to that too is obviously the name of our podcast is Route to Revenue, focusing on the recurring aspect. So it sounds to me like having that recurring revenue has eased your business and eased payroll and eased repairs and all of that. Has that been the best part of the business as you've grown and 100%. As you've gotten the numbers that you've got?
It has definitely made a huge impact having the recurring revenue. I mean, you have to have the cash flow coming in to pay for everything that we, have expenses, fuel, maintenance, insurance, payroll. Not knowing if that would be coming in the next month would be, very, very nerve-wracking. Knowing that we have all these routes, like obviously in the winter we'll get a couple people that fall off, but like we still have consistent routes that we can look at and say, okay, this is what's coming in, this is what we owe, this is what's left, the typical business owner mindset. But the recurring revenue, very important. Very critical.
Awesome.
Perfect. Okay. Last question. Where can people find you?
The business has YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. I have a private list of like maintenance videos on my YouTube page that I can send people a link of. Haven't really posted anything other than just like cleaning videos on YouTube, but maybe in the future I'll start posting more maintenance stuff. The Facebook groups for sparkling bins, I have a lot of stuff in there. If you go in the search bar, you can probably find everything that I've worked on or shared. They're in those groups.
Awesome. Yeah. So, and what's the email if they want to reach out?
Delaware trash can cleaning @gmail.com.
Awesome.
Perfect. Well, Tyler, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. I really do appreciate it. And it's been great talking to you.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, it was great to finally meet.
I knew it was going to be great, and I love following your progress, and I'm sure many of the viewers will, or followers will as well. So we appreciate you, and I'm sure I'll have some question here shortly that I'll be calling you on.
Mike, many of the followers, you mean the two?
Well, yeah, my mom and his mom, if they haven't unsubscribed.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
You'll post it in the can cleaning groups, I'm sure.
That's right. That's right. Well, we appreciate you. Thank you so much, Tyler.
Anytime, guys. Thank you.
Well, Ben, that's a wrap on another episode of The Route to Revenue. If you enjoyed this episode, we'd love it if you would hit like, subscribe, and leave us old guys a comment about what we did well. And if we did anything wrong, can it and keep it to yourself.
If today's strategy sparked some ideas for your business, don't keep them to yourself. Share this episode with a fellow entrepreneur who could benefit from these insights.
Remember, building a recurring revenue business, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. Take one actionable step from today's discussion and implement it in your business this week.
Want to connect with us between episodes? Find us on Facebook or at our website. We'd love to hear how you're applying these concepts in your own home service business.
And until next time, keep building those recurring revenue streams and stay on the route to revenue.
The route to revenue.
Nice, Ben.